All right, what's up, everybody? This is Dad to bring you guys another video. I'm here to bring you guys one more video before I'm about to hit the sack for tomorrow. But as you know, there's been a shitstorm of information regarding to Nintendo's, oh god, man, to Nintendo's report, consolidated financial report, and also their official claim that the NX will be releasing in March 2017, and E3 will be mostly focused on Zelda, but there will be other games there, but nevertheless, it's mostly going to be focused on Zelda Wii U. And there will be two versions. There will be a Wii U version and NX version, which pretty much reminds me of Twilight Princess. That's all there is to it. Anyway, let's get into the topic of the video. Anyway, I'm here to do one more addendum of why Nintendo needs to do 5 things to get me to buy their NX. 5 things. Because these are 5 flaws that Nintendo has made with the Wii U, the Wii, but it's time for them to come back and do it with with the NX. It's time for Nintendo to start coming back because, like I said again, if Nintendo NX fails within 1 year of my expectations, I'm not buying that garbage until the end of its life cycle. No exceptions, okay? Period. I will hold my promise. I will not be flip-flopping like that clown Zombie70, who just recently made a video, by the way, about Uncharted 4 copies being stolen that's considered to be a lie, which he has no proof on. He's just making a bunch of claims. The man, I don't know what's wrong with that man. Anyway, the man keeps bragging about him. He's a real man. Anyway, so, number 1. As you can see on this Wikipedia page, Nintendo franchise. Nintendo has so many franchises. From Brain Age, Donkey Kong, F-Zero, Fire Emblem, Legend of Zelda, Mario, Metroid, the Mother series, which is Earthbound, Super Smash Bros., Star Fox, Punch-Out, Pile of Wings, you know what I'm saying? One more is out here is Ice Climbers. I always bring up Ice Climbers. You know, Skill Dive, all this stuff by Nintendo. Mario Kart, Mario Party, Mario this and that. Okay? All these IPs Nintendo has, they have at their disposal. The biggest issue with this gen in regards to Nintendo's franchises, and guess what? They have not been used barely this gen. Or if they've been used this gen, they haven't been used on Nintendo's home console. Point number 1. Nintendo needs to start bringing all their IPs for the home console and not for the handhelds. Whether they decide to bring it to the 3DS or make a new handheld in the future and bring other games, I have no problem with that. But Nintendo needs to start focusing and bringing their main games to be optimized on their home console. Okay, that's what they need to start doing first. So as you can clearly see, starting with the first IP that we love so much as Nintendo fans, is Metroid. Now, Metroid historically has missed a generation. Metroid was not available on the N64, okay? And we have skipped another generation with no Metroid, second time, and that is this gen. Sorry. The Wii U. Okay, no Metroid for the NX. I'm sorry, no Metroid for the N64, and no Metroid for the Wii U. So, Metroid. We all love Metroid 2D or 3D. Metroid Fusion, original Metroid, Metroid Prime, 1, 2 Echoes, Pre-Corruption, Fusion, Super Metroid. We love Metroid. Love it to death. We love it, love it, love it. Okay, Metroid has skipped out on this generation, but now their claim is that Metroid will be available on the NX. We will see. We will see if that's indeed true. The point is, folks, is that Metroid has skipped out of the generation, and there's been no Metroid, not even for the 3DS at all. But there's been a claim that a 2D Metroid will be coming for the for the 3DS, so here's what it is. So we skipped on Metroid. Guess what? Another IP. Ice Climbers. We have no Ice Climbers since the NES. We have not had a new entry of Ice Climbers since the NES. Another IP which they have. They have put the characters in Super Smash Bros. There have been ports of the game to the Game Boy Advance to the Wii U eShop. They've been exposed in some more media like background characters, but yet no actual entry as a new installment. Why? Because Nintendo doesn't know what to do with Ice Climbers, supposedly speaking. They don't know what to do with it. Ice Climbers is a very simplistic concept. All you gotta do is pretty much reach to the top, going through different barriers. You mean tell me that Nintendo can't make an Ice Climbers 2 and basically take the concept of Ice Climbers and just make it with fantastic graphics? I always forget the characters' names. Is it Lala or something like that? I forgot. But Ice Climbers, you know what I'm saying? Just climb up to the top and just basically reach your destination. There was, Ice Climbers level from the NES actually on Super Smash Bros. Melee. That was a classic. But sadly, Super Smash Bros. 4, Ice Climbers were replaced by, I think, Rosalina or something like that in the star. So it is what it is. So Ice Climbers are completely skipped out, so it is what it is. But will we ever see a new entry? Who knows? Pokemon Stadium series, okay? Pokemon Stadium revolutionized the Pokemon franchise because it was the first 3D Pokemon game to be on a home console. And also, as you can see here in the box art here, it says a transfer pack. Basically, we're able to pick Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue and put it in the cartridge, in the game pack, and put it inside behind the N64 controller and actually play Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue on the game itself, on a big, huge Game Boy. And the screen was absolutely extended, so you can play pretty much the whole screen. And you can actually change the screen. You're able to import your Pokemon, play versus battles, play gym battles. The gym battles that you fought in Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue, you were to find the same ones in that, too. And also the multiple stadium levels as well, which had different level requirements. Pokemon is expanded to having Pokemon Coliseum, to Pokemon Gale of Darkness. We even had a garbage one for Pokemon Battle Revolution or something like that for the Wii. But no Pokemon Stadium-like game this gen. Instead, we got this garbage Pokken Tournament, which is basically a Tekken-Tag tournament fighting game with Pokemon, I'm sorry. Okay? And just arena-based, game that has different camera angles. That's all it is. It's a garbage game. Okay, I don't want a fighting Pokemon game. I want a 3D Pokemon Stadium game. When are we going to get Pokemon Stadium 3? Next up, F-Zero. Skip this gen. Okay, so that's 2 gens so far we skipped it. Actually, I think that may be 3 gens. No, it's 2 gens. We have had no F-Zero for the Wii and no F-Zero for the Wii U. Okay, there's been no F-Zero for the handhelds, for the DS, for the 3DS. No F-Zero for years. So when did F-Zero come out? 2001? So it's been 15 years basically since the last time we had a true F-Zero game, and we know F-Zero was freaking fantastic. F-Zero GX, as you can see here right here where my cursor is at. Amazing, fantastic game. But back when F-Zero came out for N64, it had competition with a series called Wipeout. Okay, and Sony had that IP, which they shut down sadly. The last Wipeout game was Wipeout 2048 for the Vita. But other than that, we have Wipeout HD, Wipeout, all the series, Wipeout Fury, Wipeout Pulse for the PSP, and sold very well. That's competition for a fast, racing game. But F-Zero, 2 generations straight, not for the home consoles. Next up, Wave Race. We haven't seen a Wave Race since the GameCube era, okay? Wave Race started the Game Boy. Actually, I'm not even sure if Wave Race is the Game Boy. I don't know if that's... I guess that may be true, but it is what it is. You have one for N64 and also the GameCube, okay? But we have Wave Race Blue Storm. As you know, this game sold terribly. On VG Charts, according to the sales, if they're accurate, the game only sold about roughly 400,000 copies, if I'm not mistaken. 400,000, 380,000, I don't know, around that number. It's terrible because Nintendo fanboys don't support third-party support. Okay? They're a joke. They don't deserve third-party support. Wave Race. When we ever see a new Wave Race? This game was basically in competition with Hydro Thunder. Next up, guys. We know the Japanese are not known for making first-person shooters. When it comes to first-person shooters, the Western, Western developers, America, Canada, and Europe, they know how to make first-person shooters. Japanese developers don't know how to make squad. Koreans, however, know how to make a lot of free-to-play shooters. But otherwise, Japanese don't know how to make jack squad about first-person shooters. They know nothing about first-person shooters. Period. But this game, which I don't know if it actually was made by a Japanese studio, I think it's called Space or something like that. I barely can read it. But the point is, this game was published on the GameCube exclusively. You know what I'm saying? So it was basically Nintendo's own IP. And to this day, guys, it's still an exclusive. No sequel has been made for this game yet after all these years, but nevertheless, it's still, as they call it, a treasure. So next up is Pilot Wings. Pilot Wings, we have not seen a new installment of Pilot Wings since the N64. No Pilot Wings for the GameCube. No Pilot Wings for the Wii. No Pilot Wings for the Wii U. Oh, but there was a Pilot Wings for 3DS. It was called Pilot Wings Resort. Another game with a new installment we haven't seen in years put on the handheld. The Nintendo 3DS/XL, so that's new 3DS. Put on the 3DS and not put on the home console. This is why Nintendo is a joke. Not actually trying to advertise their games and put their main IPs on the home console. Another game that we will not probably see in many years. Who knows? Kid Icarus. Kid Icarus made his return. This is the next game besides Ice Climbers to make his return since the NES. Okay, we have had new installments. We also had the same situation with this. We had ports to the Game Boy Advance, ports to the Wii U eShop, but no new installment until this game dropped for the 3DS. Okay? Not for the Wii U. That's right. Another game. Another Nintendo IP. Long one. Since the NES. But he's been in Super Smash Brothers. Yep, all the porting and stuff like that. It has own stages. Yep, but no new game unless it's on 3DS. And guess what? Not for the Wii U. And lastly, Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem has been the consistent IP of the last several generations. Okay, GameCube, Wii. GameCube had Radiant Dawn. I'm sorry, Path of Radiance. We had Radiant Dawn, and the Wii U is getting a collaboration, but not a full-fledged Fire Emblem game, and that is Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. But however, we're going to put all the Fire Emblem games on 3DS, which I have no problem with. Again, but you don't want to put your main IPs on the console to have the longevity. That's why I sold my Wii U, because all the biggest games ever that Nintendo put on 3DS are on there. That's why I kept this and sold the other garbage. Okay, Fire Emblem Fates, Fire Emblem Awakening, you know what I'm saying? But no Fire Emblem for the home console. This collaboration with Shin Megami Tensei, which is a dark, gritty game, Fire Emblem looks like Persona, and I don't want Persona. I want Fire Emblem. The game was too colorful. The game just looks like a carbon copy. But we know JRPGs fanatics are going to buy that game. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not buying it because I'm not getting a Wii U. So that covers the first point on Nintendo, and this is going to be a very long video. Nintendo is incompetent in regards to putting their main IPs that they have conjured up, okay, since its inception in history in gaming, and not put on their home console for the Wii U/Wii. The Wii destroys the Wii U in terms of its games, flat out. But I want to get into a point about the Wii and the Wii U and specifically for one aspect at the very end. So next up, and we've beaten a dead horse over and over again with this since its inception, and that is third-party support, folks. Third-party support. All the third-party developers like EA, who has Battlefield, Unravel, Mirror's Edge series, Dead Space, Need for Speed. They even published games back then like Black. You know what I'm saying? They have so many IPs out there. Mass Effect, Dragon Age. They have all of that published at their disposal. Too bad the Wii U couldn't get it. Oh, and let's not forget Crysis as well. Too bad the Wii U couldn't get it except for Mass Effect. That's it. No other games since for EA has came to the Wii U. As you can see clearly, third-party support has been declining. The declination of third-party support has declined. Okay, so that doesn't make any sense. That's redundant. The declination of third-party support has been continuing since the N64. It's been declining, because we've got clowns in office at Nintendo saying that third-party developers are useless. The greatest games of all time have been created by third-party developers. Yet these Nintendo drones want damage control say third-party does not matter. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Those who want to join the PC master race and want to actually deal with a console, guess what? They have the third party at their disposal. Let's take, WB. They have Fear, First Encounter Soul Recon series. They have Batman Arkham series. They have all these IPs, man, at their disposal. Bethesda with Elder Scrolls. Fallout. Nope, not there. The only thing Nintendo had at their disposal was Ubisoft. And Ubisoft defended Nintendo until its inception. Speaking of Ubisoft came out and said that should I say officially? I'm not sure who it actually was, Ubisoft or Nintendo, but someone came out and said that Zombie U was the first third-party game on the Wii U to sell 1 million. And that just shows you why the Wii U is the worst console by Nintendo. And it just shows that Nintendo's NX is in desperate need of support. For third party. You cannot survive without third party. Period. You cannot just solely survive on just first party exclusives. You can't. Unless you got third party exclusives, that is what you need, Nintendo. If you can't really get the third party on the ground, you can't get Batman, Arkham Series, and Fallout, and all these are IPs, and Doom, and stuff like that, and Quake, Wolfenstein, the whole point, 9 yards. If you can't get that, at least get third party exclusives, and make sure these Nintendo drones buy it, because they're not buying their games. I want to cover one more point before I end this. I just want to say that Nintendo fanboys don't support third party, and they don't deserve third party, because if you look at the sales for a lot of these third party games on the Wii U, like Bayonetta 2, before we hit digital, because VG doesn't record digital, Wonderful 101, a lot of Platinum games, Assassin's Creed 2, Batman Arkham Origins, these games didn't sell 1 million. Now, I could be wrong probably about Batman Arkham Origins, maybe a few, but the point is these games don't sell 1 million. They haven't sold 1 million. And there's no legitimate reason. Assassin's Creed 4 I said Assassin's Creed 2. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I'm sorry. Assassin's Creed 2 was 360 and PS3. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag still hasn't sold 1 million. There was nothing wrong with the Wii U version at all. The only one was working. I bought the Wii U version when it came out, when I had my Wii U. Nothing was wrong with the game. Played it online, played the single player. No issues at all. but Nintendo gamers didn't support it. Nintendo gamers don't deserve third party support, folks. It's flat out simple. But that's what the NX needs. They need third party support, and Nintendo gamers better buy it. No excuses. Number 3, okay, Nintendo's online infrastructure. Nintendo's online infrastructure is garbage. Online gaming on Nintendo platforms is garbage. All that Nintendo has in terms of fantastic online games, or games, should I say, is Mario Kart 8 and Smash Bros. That's it. And I guess Splatoon as well. But when it comes to Nintendo's online infrastructure, it's garbage, and it's still bare bones compared to Microsoft's Xbox Live 360, PS3. Hell, even Sony's features, what I'm about to mention, were even in the OG Xbox, the first Xbox, or the PS2. They're archaic compared to, these aspects are archaic to Nintendo. Voice chat, party chat, be able to send people directly messages without going to Miiverse. Can I actually just click on somebody's in the Nintendo Network ID and just send them directly a message? I can do that on PS4. I can do it on PS3. I can do that on 360. I can do it on Xbox One. I can do that on PC, Master Race. I can do it on every platform except the Wii U. Could do that on the Wii. The Wii was basically an anti-social console. Party chat, all this sort of stuff, folks. Nintendo's Network ID being tied to your console in terms of the software, and not being able to simply transfer that, just basically have multiple platforms open in order to actually have your content. You know what I'm saying? I got multiple profiles of the PS4 on my PS4. I just got to change it. Same thing with the PS3, 360, and Xbox One. As long as I register it, I'm good to go. But on Nintendo, you can't do that. Because why? Because if you read this FAQ from Nintendo on their website, it says right here. It says, can I register the same Nintendo Network ID on one or more Nintendo 3DS system? No, this is not possible. Your Nintendo Network ID is tied to your software and or additional content you have purchased and downloaded. As the rights of uses for software you have purchased apply only to a single Nintendo 3DS family system, you can only register your Nintendo Network ID on one, I repeat, one system. So, folks, if I wanted to let's say I have what happened. I have all my content. That's basically my ID. And I wanted to basically get a new 3DS and just play off that. I can't do that. I have to transfer my content to that. So as you can clearly see, Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing. Sony has done this stuff Microsoft done this stuff since 2005/2006. Nintendo does not know what they're doing. Online infrastructure needs to change. They didn't get with the times. This is not Japan. This is worldwide. And then you wonder why Nintendo's failing. Next up, number 4. Let's talk about Nintendo's controllers. See, a lot of these Nintendo drones keep talking about Nintendo is so innovative because they keep making the controller. Let me get this straight here. Nintendo is the best company because of their controller. Wait, hold on. Wait, what? Not their games, but their controllers? Because if I can remember, their control schemes are not the best. If you look at Nintendo's last 2 gen consoles, Wii U and the Wii, look at both of them. Okay? Let's not talk about the NES, Super Nintendo, N64, and GameCube. Let's just talk about these 2 right now. If you look at the Wii, it's a motion-based controller. So if you don't have a what is it called? I think it's the sensor bar. You're screwed. You need that in order to actually enjoy the Wii experience, unless the game requires that. Okay, Metroid Prime 3 Corruption. You want to play that with a GameCube controller instead because you can't stand the controls like I did. Too bad. You're out of luck. You want to play Super Mario Galaxy? You're out of luck. You're screwed because you don't have the Wii Remote nunchuck. A controller that's obnoxious, exhausting to swing on, even if I try to work out, lift weights. Swing that thing as if it's literally nothing but a casual machine. Okay? It is uncomfortable, and that's what completely put me off from the Wii generation. There were good enough games, but guess what? I only played them because I was desperate for them, like Metroid 3 Corruption. And afterwards, I sold my Wii. I never played it since. The last game I played on the Wii was Radiant Dawn, but guess what? I have emulators on the PC. Master Race. Thank the PC Master Race, and there's a Wii U emulator being made as well. Now let's look at the Wii U gamepad. The Wii U gamepad has got to be the most uncomfortable controller I have ever witnessed in gaming. It is not optimized to be. It's not, should I say optimized, but it's not ergonomically made for the use of first-person shooters by far, or third-person shooters. Playing Resident Evil Revelations was absolute nightmare playing that game because the controls the analog sticks, sorry, were so far from each other, and the buttons, it was completely impossible to play it. But just try playing Counter-Strike. Could you imagine playing Counter-Strike on this thing? It is a total disaster. I played Call of Duty Ghost Black Ops 2. It's nearly impossible. I had to get a pro controller to play this. This, folks, is a controller. That's a gaming controller. This, folks, is a gaming controller. This, folks, is a gaming controller. This is not. It's garbage. So this notion that Nintendo needs to stop with the controller gimmicks and put away with this nonsense, it needs to die and needs to stop. Stop. I don't want no innovation in regards to being a boring, garbage, annoying controller. If you're going to give me this so-called new gimmick, make sure you give me the option to use other controllers, just like Smash Brothers. People are using GameCube controllers. We know majority of people are playing with the game controllers. They're not playing with the gamepad. They're either playing with the Wii Remote Nunchuck or they're playing with the GameCube controller. I guarantee it. And lastly, Nintendo. Nintendo. And you look at the history, NES, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Wii, and Wii U. If you look at the history of Nintendo, check this out. Nintendo needs to make a powerful system. Anyone who tells you that Nintendo, or should I say any company, okay, that try to tell you that power does not matter is a fool, okay? Because power always matters, especially when we're talking about the next gen, about 4K and the PS4 Neo and all that sort of stuff, upgradable consoles and all that sort of stuff, which is quite hypocritical coming from a lot of console fanboys out there. Okay, when they talk about especially PC, oh, I gotta upgrade my PC all the time. But when you talk about upgrading your console, oh, you don't have a problem with that. The hypocrisy is real. But the point is that we're talking about a platform, okay, that is essentially needed power is essentially needed for the system. I don't want to hear no excuses. I want to hear 180p, 60 frames per second. It's some of the games even that I love so much, it's unacceptable that at 60 frames per second. Bloodborne is unacceptable at being 30 frames per second. 2015, not this year, but last year, 2015, is unacceptable that game is 30 frames per second. That is unacceptable. But I said I was so desperate for it, I got it. Because I was a Souls fan. Okay? Dark Souls, I got it as well. So, as you can clearly see, you know what I'm saying, I'm really not preaching, I'm a little bit of a contradiction. I am a contradiction because I buy, platforms for certain, frame rates and, and resolutions and stuff like that. But, of course, I'll stick with the PC. The point is, let me start beating around the bush. Nintendo NX needs to be more powerful so it can actually utilize every aspect of its hardware for their games. New Super Mario 3D game, Smash Brothers, Pokemon Stadium 3. I mean, all this stuff is a Nintendo's not fanboy, Nintendo's fan wet dream. Pokemon Stadium 3, 3D, Metroid Prime with amazing spectacular graphics. I mean, did you see the graphics for Dragon Quest 11? I mean, just amazing running on Unreal Engine 4. Graphics do matter. Power is needed. And I don't want a weak system. Okay? Again, this is the 5 things that Nintendo needs to do. So to summarize, Nintendo needs to start taking a lot of their IPs, okay, that you see here, that have been on their home console, and not put them on the 3D or their handhelds first and put it on their home console. They need to get more exposure. They need to start bringing practically all of them. Nintendo needs to get all the third-party developers out of here. Nintendo needs to change its online infrastructure. Nintendo needs to stop making these garbage controller gimmicks. And lastly, Nintendo needs to make a powerful system. I'm Dab to bring you guys this very long video, Addendum number 2, and this is the last video I'm going to make, probably till roughly I would say, probably till later this year. I'll probably make Addendum number 3 to remind everybody what Nintendo needs to do. Nintendo's got 1 year, one year to change after the release of the NX. 2018 in March is when I better see top-notch Nintendo NX games. I better see everything, because Nintendo is always screwing up, getting real cocky right now. Alright, I'm Dad to bring you guys this long video. I'm out here. I'm glad you guys appreciate it. I'll be uploading this YouTube, so thank you very much for supporting my channel. Nintendo, you gotta change. Peace.